Welcome to Inside Sim Racing. I'm Billy Strange, and in this edition of Test Drive, we are checking out Forza Motorsport 6's newly released Meguiars car pack. We're checking out my favorite car in the pack, which is the Jaguar XJR-9. Part of that Group C era, V12, 60 degree, 750 horsepower. We're on Spa, making that first turn. There's no way not to have any contact. Coming out of there, tires are still a little cold, got to be careful on that acceleration. Of course, we are running the TX base with the 599 Evo Rim TH8A shifter from Thrustmaster, as well as the Ricmotech GT Pro 1 pedals. So while the XJR-9 in Forza Motorsport 6 has the typical Forza Motorsport 6 force feedback, this one feels a little different in that the side bite is translated pretty well. Now this could be because I'm running this car on Spa as opposed to the 962 that I ran at Virginia, which is a little more hectic, so that may be some of the difference, but this car translates side bite really well. The only issue I really had though is the force feedback in the center of the wheel was really numb, so I upped my force feedback to 85%. A little bump there, whoops, and then changed my degrees of rotation to 540. I'm pretty sure these guys ran somewhere in the 720, possibly even 900, but I don't think they were as short as 540. Whoa, there's a Ferrari's butt. V&R Kirby. It's all up in my face. Make through the S here. Anyway, so changing it to 540 and upping the force feedback seemed to take out most of the numb feeling. Oh, there's a freebie. That numb feeling out of the center of the wheel. And then just some car setup changes. I shortened the gear ratio just a hair from 321 to 325, so it kind of peaked out in the draft down the straightaway, so I got a little more oomph off the corners. Nice flat out section through that left-hander. Coming up on the 905. All these prototype cars are great. So yeah, I ended up shortening up the gear ratio, lets the car come off the corner a little harder. Do have to be sensitive with the throttle though, because it will spin the tires fairly easy, especially if you're coming from a low speed turn and you're steering. After that, I made a brake pressure change. I also bought a brake kit, the racing kit, which I don't know why it doesn't come with a brake bias controller, but maybe the real car didn't have one. Anyway, so I could change my front brake. I added some front brake to it from 50 to 55 just to get it so that the back end didn't want to come around on me going into the turns. And I also lessened the brake pressure to about 85% because I was locking up the wheels fairly easy, not running any ABS or traction control. So lessening that brake pressure will help keep you from locking up under braking. You should lock up when, it's a panic stop at the very, max pressure. The wheels should lock up. But if you're just braking hard, racing normally, you should not have, you should not have it locking up usually. So lessening that brake pressure will help that. Then I also took in and towed in the rear wheels. When we tow in the rear wheels and tires, that means that as you're sitting in the car, the front edge of the rear tires are going to face inward. So what that does is it takes the grip, the center line. If you drew a center line through the wheel, it points towards the center of the car, which pushes the grip into the center line of the chassis, pushing the car forward. That tends to give you more forward bite coming off of the turn, which is something I did to try to get myself more grip. The downside to that is, let's see if we can get into the R18. Damn you, four-wheel drive. Anyway, so what that does is it also makes it so that your turn-in isn't as easy, and on throttle it makes the car want to push. But I felt like I had enough steering in the car that I wasn't worried about the car pushing and rotating. I wanted to be able to get to the throttle quicker. And so that is just one of the ways that you can make a change. I went from whoa, that guy was taking a coffee break. What was he doing? So anyway, I went from a negative 0.2, so 0.2 of a degree, to 0.5 or half a degree negative. So that just seemed to give me that little extra coming out of the turn so I could get to the throttle. You know, we're running on Pro for the AI. Would an XJR-9 really catch a 919 that's in front of us? Maybe not, but that's the fun of creating our own races, right? He pulls away from there. Just trying to hold the car together. So anyway, that's it for any setups. Be aware that from sim to sim or game to sim, whatever you want to say, not everything reads the same. So what is negative here, I've seen in some games is actually, or sims, actually positive. That's not the way I was taught. And, you know, for as much crap as you want to give Forza, they do an excellent job of actually explaining in the car setup what each thing does. So just be aware, you need to read the description that whatever sim you're using puts in there for the setting. As we get to the lead, whoa, there's contact. So I looked at the replay, I thought I had taken him out, but he actually comes back across. He had gone way over this white line and then come back across as I was sweeping out. I thought I had cleared him, and he actually drove into the side of me, bounced off, and stuffed himself in the fence. And then a little bit too eager on the throttle. Got some on-throttle oversteer, but we finished, and we won it. So probably could have used the unbeatable setting, but this turned out to be a pretty good and exciting race, I thought. And there you have it. There is the XJR-9 with a couple setup tips. This is one of my more favorite cars that I've played in Forza to drive, so yay. I love the Group C cars, so this made me happy. Also worth noting in this pack, I believe there was a Ferrari 488 GTB. That is the street car version. There's also the Chevy Corvette DP car. And let's see, there was also, I think, a Alfa Romeo old GP car. There's 7 cars in total in the pack. I believe this is probably going to be their last car pack, since now they've released 6, and that's usually how many they end up doing. So, once again, a fun look at the XJR-9. Thanks for making it this far in the video. If you enjoyed this video, please click that like button. If you want to follow me like a stalker on Twitter, I guess you could do that too. Strange_Billy. And let's see, my Xbox handle is Red Cypher, so if you've got an Xbox One or an Xbox 360, you can friend me on there if you feel so inclined. If you've got a suggestion for our test drive series, please leave a comment below as to what car and or track and or sim you would like to see us do. And until next time, thanks for watching and take care.